Hello, this is the TradeSite U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for the week beginning Monday, July 1st and ending Friday, July 5th. Welcome to the second half of 2019 already. Hope you had a good trading week. This is going to be a very awkward week. I know some of our traders are taking the whole week off. We'll go through the reasons why here in a bit. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market futures form. Got a huge almost full year cup and handle, and then a smaller cup and handle just since April. Are we about to break out in the markets? We'll see. I don't think the sign's been pretty, but anything's possible. We had a very boring day on Friday to close out the quarter and the half year with a pop in the last 10 minutes of the day that was, of course, not something people were sitting around trading. They also rebalanced the indices, which caused some of that. But here's a look at crude oil. Let's go to the daily charts. Crude oil down $1.23 to 58.20 to close out the week. Gold was up just 50 cents, but it's been up the last couple of weeks to 14.1250. The S&P cash, after being flat most of the day, actually gained 16.84 in that late push up, as you'll see. The NDX, the Nasdaq 100, up 14.02, not as close to highs. The SOX up just 2 points. Really has not done a lot lately. The biotech's up 55. This is exactly where it was basically in the second or third day of January, so we've gone nowhere for the year. On the biotechs, the Russell 2000 was up again in January, but it's been very flat ever since. This is a problem with the market. You can look at the fact, you can focus on the fact that the S&P is near all-time highs, which is great, but all these key sectors like the biotechs and the Russell 2000, which have a lot of stocks in them, have gone absolutely nowhere since February, and that's really why the market's been as boring as it's been. The VIX down 74 cents to 1508. The trend closes at 0.74. That's a low close. Also, let me add back in something here because we like to check that on this chart. Let me put the 10-day moving average back on. There it is. It's at 0.97, and I don't see it getting down to 0.85 anytime soon based on the numbers that are going to drop off. Nasdaq volume was 4 billion shares. Finally, some volume, but it's the end of mid-year reshuffle that caused it, and it was all in the last minute of the day, so it didn't matter. Advanced decline ratio on the Nasdaq was plus 1444. On the New York was plus 1320. Google gained $6.17. Apple down $1.82. Netflix down $2.70. Another stock that's gone nowhere. Amazon down 10.67. Tesla up 62 cents. This is obviously hanging near the lows, but back up to 222. The Facebook gains $3.50, almost back to the highs for recently at least. Goldman Sachs up 528 on a gap up, but just keeps it still in this range it's been in, doing nothing all year. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down 9 cents. Dow Jones was up 73. All right, let's look at the Well, first, let's look at the intraday action. So as you can see on Friday, we gapped up. We kind of came back. We didn't quite fill the gap. Tested the highs over lunch, drifted all the way back down to near the lows, and then it's that last 10 minutes where suddenly there's the spike on the rebalance. The Nasdaq's no different. But let's take a look at the 10-minute chart so we can see the whole week. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why this is too wide? Hang on a second. There we go. Okay, so that's the back end of last Friday on the far left. So we opened flat on Monday, kind of drifted lower. Opened flat on Tuesday, went down a little more sharply. Wednesday, we gapped up a little and filled the gap, closed at the lows of the week. Thursday, a small gap up that never filled. We closed right where we opened. Friday, a small gap up that also never filled. And for the week, we're just down a little bit. On the NASDAQ side, pretty same story, but look at that. Tuesday, the big drop, right? Monday was pretty boring. But then after the gap up Wednesday, we're just dead in this narrow range on the NASDAQ for 3 days. That's called the end of the mid-year window dressing. They're holding everything up so they can get their statements printed, get their bonus checks for what we're up for the year, right? I mean, that's really the key. So that's what we knew was coming into the week going to happen. It's exactly what did happen. Now that that's over, anything goes in the market. They can release to the downside, whatever. Their bonuses are printed. So let's talk a little bit about the week ahead. It's an awkward week from a layout perspective. Let's go through the data first. Monday, we've got OPEC meetings. We've got the final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI. We've got construction spending out of the U.S. We've got ISM manufacturing prices. Those are all at 9:45 and 10. On Tuesday, we've got a total vehicle sales number, which is no big deal. So there's no real numbers there. Wednesday does have some data. We've got the Challenger job cuts, ADP non-farm employment change, trade balance, which is a big one, The weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, those are usually Thursday, but they'll be Wednesday due to the holiday on Thursday. Final services PMI at 9:45, non-manufacturing PMI at 10, along with factory orders. Crude oil at 10:30, and the natty gas, which is usually on Thursday, will come out at noon on Wednesday. What's interesting about that is the stock market has a half day on Wednesday. I'm not sure why they picked this layout. It's very strange. So Thursday we're closed because of 4th of July. Wednesday is the half day. And then Friday is a full day. There's no requirement for that. You have, just like at Thanksgiving, you have a Thursday holiday, you have a Friday half day. They could have made the Friday half day. It is required to open because the stock market can't be closed more than 3 days in a row by rule. But they could have put the half day on Friday. Nobody's going to show up for Friday anyways. Instead, they put a full day on Friday and a half day on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we also, on top of it, have a big number in the unemployment rate with the non-farm, and nobody's going to be here. And that's coming out an hour before the bell. Very awkward week. So what does it really mean? I mean, if there's pure good trading days, and I use the word good lightly based on what we've seen, it could be Monday and Tuesday. And the one thing to keep in mind is now that you're past the end of the mid-year point and the end of the quarter, now they can go out, like I said, and do whatever they want to do with their new money for the new quarter. If they're going to get short the market and try to make money that way, they can go. If they're going to buy the market and break it out, they can go. Literally starting Monday morning. They just wanted to hold those prices at a certain point to get their bonuses. That's what happens. And it's a real thing. It's a real piece of what happens in the market. A lot of people don't understand that. So Monday and Tuesday, sometimes the first couple of days out of the gate in July are big days. But of course, with this awkward layout with 4th of July and basically ruining, I mean, Wednesday's a half day. None of the big traders are going to show up for a half day. They'll already be gone, traveling, going to wherever they're going. Close Thursday, and then this wedge day on Friday, even though it's a full day. I don't see anybody trading Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So are they going to come and do work Monday and Tuesday, or are we waiting a week? That's what's going to be important to see. So let's keep an eye on the futures and make sure we're trading with market direction. And if we don't see any action and volume is light, it could be a bust of a week across the board, but we will do what we can to find something. After that, usually things will pick up. The rest of July will be better because it's the start of a new, like I said, the second half of the year and a new bonus cycle and a new quarter and everything else. So we'll just have to see where we get to. That unemployment rate on Friday, though, could also be fairly interesting. In terms of everything else, the market doesn't have any good signals anywhere that we can focus on. It's just welcome to the second half of 2019. Good luck. Have a great 4th of July. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading